gut health matters a lot. Why? Because 70% of your immune system lies in your gut. That's one. Number two, your gut buddies, if they're happy, they're going to lower the inflammation. You can check it nowadays with the blood marker CRP, reactive protein. You can check it, and you can also improve your blood sugar levels on your CGM. You can check continuous glucose monitor. These kind of rings, they track your sleep, and this like a Whoop band. This also tracks your HRV score, your sleep quality. Now, gut health affects obesity, diabetes, depression, heart disease, and autoimmune disease. Let's understand how we can improve it. There's a term called prebiotic, there's a term called probiotic. Prebiotic is basically fiber, and it is food for your gut bacteria. The trillions of bacteria who live in your gut, they relish, and this is their food, so they enjoy it. Examples can be raw onion, garlic, banana, especially the raw banana, methi seeds, flax seeds, oats, wheat bran, cooked rice, potatoes, resistant starches. They all are the good examples of fiber rich prebiotic food, so add these in your diet. Number two, probiotic. Probiotic is basically the strains of bacteria, because there are different strains of bacteria living in your gut, which means they balance each other. So there are good bacteria, there are bad bacteria. So good bacteria balance bad, and they live in harmony. So our job as an individual is, we want to have the sound health, especially the gut health. We should add different strains of bacteria. It can be through real food, or it can be supplements as well. It's up to you. But I am a big proponent of whole food, and these probiotics are helpful to make you healthier every single day, especially when it comes to gut health. Now, the examples of homemade curd, Greek yogurt, chach, kanji, fermented rice, all the homemade achar and apple cider vinegar, they are good options for probiotic. Add them in your diet to have the sound health. Next, always combine pre and probiotic together. Why? Because synergistically, they have got a very symbolic effect. Example, curd with banana goes very well. Oats with kanji, yes, seems to be weird combination. It goes really well. So, food synergy is actually real. How much fiber do we actually need? Number one, recommended dose is 25 to 30 grams per day. References WHO and ICMR. But for the Indian urban diet, 15 grams seems okay, but you should always speak to your healthcare professional about it, and you are free to do what you want. These are just the numbers for your reference. Next is best form of fibers. They are soluble fibers, and the good example is isabgol, oats, chia seeds, basil seeds, flax seeds. They are good form of soluble fiber, which means it slow down the digestion, and they get along with your real food very nicely. And your gut buddies, they thrive on these kind of food. Add them in your diet, because basil seeds, it's very economical, very widely available, and it is a good source of fiber. Next is insoluble fiber, which means it doesn't get digested very easily. It's going to give the bulk to your stool, and the good example is wheat bran and vegetables. Or if you can get your hands on the ragi, just blend it and make the powder out of it. Or if you want to have try the oats, just get the oat grouts, just blend it, and you'll get the flour very easily. There are many options nowadays. Next is top Indian high fiber foods for daily use. Number one is chia seeds and basil seeds. 2 tablespoons are going to give you over 10 grams of fiber, which is excellent. Number two is flax seeds. 1 tablespoon is going to give you 2 to 3 grams of fiber. Number three, methi seeds. Soaked overnight. They're gut friendly. They are good for insulin resistance. They are excellent for the metabolic health, which means they blunt the glucose spikes. It's going to give you the blood sugar support as well. Then you can add raw banana. It has got the resistant starches, and other options are kacha aam also. It is excellent. Enjoy it with the skin. Wash it in apple cider vinegar or any baking soda if you want to eat these kacha aam with skin, because skin might have some pesticides. So please clean it properly. Next is vegetables. Include it in your diet every single day, and start with the fiber first. So bhindi, lauki, palak, methi, carrot, or start eating your food with this. And if you go out in the restaurant, try to order a big salad or any kind of sabji which you enjoy. You can have without breads. Just focus on that. Sprouted moongs are also good. Next is cooked and cooled rice or potatoes to add the resistant starches. The research is on. Nowadays, people, they cook rice and they put their leftover rice into fridge, and next day they take it out. Overnight, what happens? The resistant starches get increased in the rice, and this research is on. People are doing cool hacks nowadays. The science behind this is resistant starches get increased, and the blood sugar spikes come a little neutral. Next is try to get whole pulses. Avoid cut polished dals, and go for the kala chana whole, white chana whole, and rajma whole. Maybe there are not enough gut buddies or gut bacteria to metabolize that food. If you feel gassy or bloated, just limit it, avoid it for a couple of days, and then introduce it gradually. Next is our 30 plants per week is a real deal, because I read a book called Fiber Fueled, and it was written as per the American Gut Study. People who consume 30 plus plant-based food per week had much more diverse gut microbiome than those who ate less than 10. It seems very daunting how we are going to have 30 different plant species within a week. Well, it's very easy, like basil seed, chia seeds, flax seeds, any kind of seed, 3-4 different fruits, 3-4 different vegetables, any kind of different spices, cinnamon, black pepper, rosemary, or any kind of thyme, any kind of different plants if you include in your diet, everything counts 1. And even the 2 different mangoes count 2, because every plants have the different bioactives and they have their synergetic and different effect on your gut microbiome. So you can count it very easily. So you can actually create your own gut diversity for better immunity, less sick days, less inflammation, sound metabolic health, and even good mental well-being. So try it and see. This study is coming, is called McDonald EL 2018 American Gut Consortium, the peer-reviewed large data set. Now this 30 different plants can be herbs, spices, grains, fruits, vegetable, legumes, nuts, seeds, and not just salads. Matlab, in case if you mix all, if you create a salad with 4-5 different vegetables, if you sprinkle couple of seeds like flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, and just squeeze some lemon, you have created a wonder for yourself. You have 15-20 different species of plants already in one salad bowl. That's one day. So you have 7 days to counter that. It's that easy. Next is, what about the carnivores? You know, carnivores are saying fiber is useless. Yes, there is a big debate is going on and we have different school of thoughts. Let's understand their scientific consensus. The short-term carnivore diets may reduce bloating and improve symptoms in people with IBD, IBS. It's a temporary benefit, yes, but long-term fiber flow is linked to reduced gut diversity, increase meta-analysis 2019, higher fiber intake associated with 15 to 13% reduction in all-cause mortality, a reduced risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease and stroke. The source is from the Reynolds EL study, the Lancet 2019, one of the most cited gut health studies. Whenever I eat, I ensure I always have a good portion of protein, a lot of vegetables, along with the healthy fats. I use avocados. Plus, I add different probiotics like sakrat, kimchi, kamji is a regular drink at our home, and I create my own morning electrolytes. I usually soak lemon, orange, different peels, along with add some mint, and I use apple cider vinegar, and I just keep it at night and make my own unique drink. And now let's simplify the daily protocol so that you can follow it. Morning, so you can have the soaked methi seeds plus 1 tablespoon of chia seed or basil seeds in your water to start your day with. It is just a format. You can add or remove whatever you can because food has to be very individualistic. Next is breakfast. If you can follow intermittent fasting, excellent. I usually take it because my average blood sugar is under 85 milligram per deciliter for the last 90 days, and I walked after every meal at least for 10 to 15 minutes. I did some micro workouts. Comment protocol. I'll be sharing with you my protocol throughout the day, what I do. Next is breakfast. You can have hunkered or any savory breakfast. There are a couple of options. I've given the separate video about. Next is lunch. Add minimum 2 veggies along with dal if you are a vegetarian, or have a good portion of tofu tempeh if you are vegan, or 150 to 200 grams of paneer. You can have it if you are a vegetarian. Non-vegetarians can go for either dal or any kind of non-vegetarian options. You are free to go. Next is mid-evening. Avoid taking any kind of sugary stuff, any kind of energy bars. Avoid it. They're going to give you the massive blood sugar spike. Simple is switch to savory snacks. Switch your regular chai to herbal teas like kadi patta, cinnamon tea, chamomile tea is good. Roasted chana or peanuts. Makhanas also you can try. You can hack the makhanas very easily by toast it in the desi ghee and use couple of roasted almonds along with it, and the blood sugar spike will be blunted. I've checked it on my CGM. Next is dinner. So seasonal greens which comes from the 40 kilometers area. Try that. Start your meals with these if you are a vegetarian. Plus you can add sprinkle 1 tablespoon of flax seeds over it, or keep your dinner early and light between 6 to 8 in the evening and maintain the 3 hours of gap between your sleep and last meal. Keep your dinners light, salad, soups, and have your main meal in lunch. If you see this meta-analysis, the early eaters are the healthiest ones, better glucose control and better overall energy, and they wake up energetically even in the less hours of sleep. If you just make one change, lunch your main meal and make your dinners light. Don't have that too much spicy pranthas or any kind of food and followed by dessert. Then at the end you want to drink milk also. This is the recipe for disaster. Bedtime, go for the chamomile tea or sof methi tea. It's gut calming and plus is going to make you sleep. Plus you can use supplements also. Magnesium glycinate is good at the night. The right dosage can be 200 milligram is absolutely fine. But if you're not a big fan of glycinate, use natural foods. So I hope you like this gut health masterclass, and fiber war is on between carnivores and plants. What's the real truth? Comment tracker. I'll be sharing with you the whole step-by-step plan so that you can be a stronger, sharper version of yourself, especially when it comes to gut health. Please subscribe and share with your family and friends, and let's create a disease-free society. Each one teach one, and ciao.